Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I thought I'll make about some hair care tips or some things that I do that help me keep my hair kind of long and at the same time healthy looking. Um, so I thought, yeah, this video might be helpful. And again, I don't have my video editor working yet, so this will be a continuous video and I hope I don't make mistakes. Okay, so first thing about hair care is that obviously there are genetic components involved. I'm not going to say genes have nothing to do with how your hair looks because the color of the hair, the texture, everything, these are encoded in our genes. How much hair grows, like how many follicles we have, that is sort of genetic. Some people have more, some people have less. But it doesn't mean that there's nothing you can do about it. You can use different ways to stimulate hair growth. There are a lot of hair growth chemicals like minoxidil that can help if you're losing hair. Like those things are available, but yeah, my hair follicles, luckily I think I have a good amount of them, but still you can have a good starting hair, but you can ruin it so easily with bad habits such as just coloring your hair every time you feel like it. I definitely don't recommend just like bleaching your hair often because that is very damaging, and doing like perms, straightening permanently, and also just using a hair straightener with a high temperature that will just fry your hair. And I see a lot of people, they just go about doing these things and thinking that because like hair is sort of a dead kind of thing where you don't feel pain. A lot of people, they tend to put high temperatures on it and think that nothing will happen to it. But the truth is that your hair is made of proteins, and proteins are very sensitive things. Well, proteins in the hair are pretty strong compared to all our other proteins, which if you guys follow me, you know I'm a biochemist and I have a PhD, so I work with proteins all the time, and they're very, very sensitive. If you change their temperature too much and they don't like a certain temperature, or their pH, or just these conditions, they will just denature. But luckily the proteins in the hair, they make a lot of disulfide bonds which strengthen them, but still you can break those bonds with just the high temperatures, bleach, and chemicals. And yeah, if you're wondering, I've never ever colored my hair. It has always been the natural color, and it's somewhere like a kind of a dark brown, I would say, which sometimes looks a little bit lighter if it's clean and curly, like it will. If it has a higher volume, it looks lighter. But I never ever colored it, and I think that is one of the reasons my hair looks healthy, is because it's never been bleached before. And if you do bleach it, definitely give a long time before each time you do it, so your hair doesn't it has time to kind of regain its strength. Don't like overdo it. And yeah, I would say it is always better to have healthy looking hair than having hair that is damaged but it's a certain color. Like if you, I think, yeah, health is always more beautiful than something that we have in our head that is the standard of beauty, a certain color or something. So always put health first. And also yeah, I don't use hair straighteners to style my hair because the heat is like very direct on the shaft of the hair, so that will damage your hair more. But it doesn't mean I don't use any heat at all, because my hair is sort of like long. If I let it air dry, it will take a really long time. So I usually let it air dry as much as possible, but then once it is sort of like a bit damp, I will take sections, and I will use a kind of a round brush and hold the air dryer far away as I can on the lowest heat setting, so it doesn't like if you hold your hand in front of the air, it wouldn't burn your hand at all. It's very comfortable. So that way I know that my hair will also be comfortable. It wouldn't like burn or get damaged. So that's how I dry my hair. And yeah, so it minimizes damage, but it's sort of like a blowout as well, the way I dry it, which makes sure like it kind of makes everything less like likely to become tangled. And that is another important thing about hair, is to minimize its tangling, and that could lead to breakage. Think of hair as just a linear thing, and a lot of long things, such as, for example, the DNA in our cells is a 2-meter long linear thing. It doesn't stay like that, just hanging around. It gets like coiled and compact, because if it's just hanging around as a line all the time, it will get tangled and it will break. So that's what nature usually does to keep things that are like a long thing kind of intact. And that's what you should be doing when you're sleeping, when you're not using your hair to show it off, when you're just in a windy or a bad weather situation. Always tie your hair up. Like I usually just put all of it together and like just coil it up, twist it, and put it in a bun like this. And I don't use a hair tie, I use like a clip. That way it will just and then when I want to like show off my hair somehow, I will just open it. But I would say that is 20% of the time where my hair is actually in its like this kind of form. Usually it is tied, coiled in a bun in the back. So that is another way to keep your hair healthy. Just this way you also kind of keep in a little bit of moisture, because when it's always open like this, sometimes the air outside can kind of suck the moisture out of your hair. But when it's in the coiled form, there's less surface area, and all the hair that is twisted inside keeps its moisture. And that's basically science too. Well, other things that I find important in hair care is just your overall health and your diet. Before any sort of products that you can use in like from Sephora, I feel like these days we get really persuaded to buy certain products, but they can help you, but they're like the last thing that you should worry about. Before all of that, you should have a really good diet. You should have definitely onions and garlic in your diet. In our cuisines, we always have onions or garlic as the base with turmeric, and then we add our meats and other things. And those, like onions and garlics, they are high source of sulfur, and hair has a lot of disulfide bonds. So to make those bonds, you need to take in the elements that make up your body. Basically, yeah, so to have a healthy body, you need to give it the ingredients, like the starting reagents that it needs to synthesize the molecules and everything that are needed. But still, even if you sometimes give those things, if it's not encoded in your genes, it might not make it. But that is the least thing that we can do. And another important thing I wanted to mention is our hormones. I see, like, these days taking birth control pills has become so common. People take it like it's just candy or something. They pop a pill without thinking that it has any side effects. But yeah, changing your hormones from its natural state will always have an effect. Hormones are what orchestrate our whole biochemistry in our bodies, and especially if you're changing it even a little bit from what it's supposed to be, in a long term, you will see big changes in how your body was supposed to look like, how your hair was supposed to look like. All of these will be affected depending on the pill. It could be better or worse. I'm not sure about the details, but it will be different. And yeah, I've never ever taken birth control pills because the idea of changing my hormones was never, it never like sat right with me, and I'm never going to do it. I feel confident the way I am in my skin now, and I don't want to change that for someone, like for just a short-term pleasure or something like that. I would never go for birth control pills ever. But if you are doing that, it's okay, but I don't recommend doing it for a long period of time. Don't go for like 10 years of these kind of, yeah, changes. Yeah, so hormones, your health, your diet, these are what comes after genetics, and also just physically taking care of your hair.